Hi, and good morning. This is Jolie from Happy Heart Arts, part of the virtual market this week, and I'm going to be demonstrating some of my art techniques today of how I make art. This is just a sketch to start me off. I was going to start with my paintings, which is like what I like to do. Normally, start off with a painting, but today I'm going to mix it up a bit. I'm going to actually start with drawing, which is what I love to do. That's actually what I fell in love with first with drawing, and when I went back to art school, that is what I did first. Was I went back with the purpose to draw. All right. Today, actually, I'll show you what I actually plan to draw today. Um, let's see, let me find it on my tablet here. I pulled it up. I'm actually going to probably do a couple different versions. I'm not sure how easily you can see this. This is actually a photo of my nephew, Nicky, from New Year's. And so I'm going to actually try drawing this. But before I get to drawing him, I am actually going to warm myself up a little bit by doing some fun sketches. I love drawing with pen, and so I'll be drawing with pen. And then later on, for my sketches to warm up, and then later on for my drawing of Nikki, I might try pen drawing first, just to warm myself up, and then I'm going to switch it over to doing oil pastels, which is one of my favorite mediums to draw in, and in paint in too. Alrighty, so yeah, I like doodling. I love cartoons and anime, so those actually, I find them so easy to just draw, actually. They're nice big shapes and stuff like that. So I found online on Pinterest someone's drawing of a little girl that I thought was really cute, simple. So I'm actually going to use that as my warm up this morning. I love pen. I like drawing in gray pen. Um, Back when I was in school, I took a quick sketch class, and my teacher actually noticed that I actually was more comfortable drawing for my quick sketches in pen versus drawing with pencil. He noticed that I was always tight. So I was like, yeah. And I doodled all the time in class. I must admit, I doodled. I'd love to say I doodled in school and high school and stuff like that. Drawing beautiful things like comic book characters or beautiful, elaborate drawings, but no, it was usually hearts over and over again, or some flower shape. Nothing very, yeah. But it was always in pen because, when I was taking notes in class, I was, excuse me, concentrating here a bit. I was always, taking notes in pen. So that's why my doodles were always usually done in pen. And I realized I was very comfortable doing that. So I've translated that as I've gotten older into drawing with pen or a number two pencil. That works too. I like that. Or a tentacle pencil. Has that nice fine line. When I got back into the habit of drawing again, this was a couple of years ago, I actually used, this is actually a gray pen. So it makes me think I'm drawing a pencil, but works like drawing with a pen. So, which is perfect because I like that color of the gray. But I need, like I said, it's that pen feel. And I actually do sometimes kill my pens. This is actually a Derwent lined marker. It's actually my favorite one. I've tried a few others, but not everybody has graphite gray as a color. So this is what I do. Normally I don't always sketch it out this quickly. And sometimes they don't come out well, but that's all good. You just throw those away if the sketches don't come out good. That's all. Oh, hi Erica. It's not as pretty as yours. Oh, that's all good. Doodlies don't have to be pretty. I've got some bad ones. I just don't show them to people. I try to I try to pretend that they don't exist. In case you want to know. I really try to pretend they don't exist, and then I just flip my paper over again. But yeah, yeah, I'm actually using a reference. Oh, so my reference drawing is, yeah, this person's done this beautiful set of character drawings, and it's not going to look exactly like his drawing, or it could be her drawings, but just using it as a reference. And I remember when I was taking my quick, one of my favorite teachers, his name was Tim Decker. And I remember when I was taking his class and we went out to the zoo and he said it's not actually have to be exactly like the animals that you see, but it's your interpretation of what an animal is. And so sometimes when I get all worked up, like it's not exactly the same as what I'm drawing, I remember those words and be like, oh yeah, it's just my interpretation of what I'm seeing, you know? So it allowed me the freedom to enjoy my what I made, what I created, and realizing it's okay that it's not exactly perfect. Looking exactly like whose drawing I'm mimicking or just like that particular lion. Because when you think about those Disney characters, it's people's interpretations of lions. I mean, and Lion King, exactly. I know I'm thinking about Lion King here. But yeah, it's people's interpretations of what an animal looks like. You know, their inner vision. I know there's some people who are very good at realism. But it turns out my skills were never at that level. So I allowed myself to just enjoy how my drawings came out. I was very glad I went back to art school. Gave me that confidence I needed as an artist that I don't think I ever had before that time. Let's see. Oh, hello. Oh, hey, Prasanna. Love. Oh, there's my wave. I was waving off camera. Oh my gosh, I love following you on Facebook. Oh, and in Instagram. I miss you. So good to see you. This is my waving hi. Hi. And then oh hey. Oh, thanks, Erica Ann. Thank you. All right. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep sketching here. Oh yeah, so put a little black here to fine line it. I must admit I don't usually sketch with my black. I usually use it as fine lines, but sketching to me is, or like you can see on my little sketching lines. I just like those. I love that gestural energy. That I remember when I was painting with my oil pastels, actually painting with oil paints on my own after art school. This is way back in 2012. I remember I would sometimes do a sketch on with pencil on my canvas, and then I would paint over it, and it feels so stiff, and I'd be like, "What is wrong? Why is it so stiff?" And then I realized what I was missing was I was missing the, let's see, the quality of my painting, like, or my drawings, like that energy. So I ended up adding my oil pastels to some of my paintings, like using that as a starting mark, and and then going back on top of it, trying to add that energy. And then before long, my I hate to say this will sound crazy, but for long it was just became straight up oil pastels on canvas. Not there was still sometimes stiff, but I just liked that energy. And then later on, of course, a few years later, back in 2018 and stuff. Oh dear, I think this girl's not supposed to be smiling. I'm about to make her smile. Oh well, I'll make her smile. Doesn't have to. Like I said, it's my own version of what this guy did. um, I started just doing the abstracts, but I liked the energy. So I realized I wanted to try to combine at times the energy of my drawings and put it into my paintings. So it's not always that case, and my abstracts totally don't feel like my oil pastels at all. But I like that feel. Alrighty, let's see. So, well, it's rough, but hey, that's what sketches are, doodling to warm up to get myself ready to draw. And sometimes drawings start off ugly. They do. So ugly. Um, so sometimes you scrap them. Sometimes you go to a different drawing. Trying to think. Maybe I might be, let's see. I'm trying to think. This is a new sketchbook or an old sketchbook? Oh, all right. So to give you an idea that all drawings don't start off pretty, here's some sketches based off of Pinterest. This is Bad Sailor Moon. All right, it probably was an okay sketch, but I went over it with marker. That didn't turn out well. But some come out good, like this little pretty one. She came out good. But let's see. She started off well, but my marker drawing in her hair is terrible. See, I mean, like it's all perspective. Oh, wait. Here's one. Erica Ann, see? Not all sketches come out good. so, so, yeah. So those are the ones I flip over and pretend they didn't happen. All right? So I have my good moments, good days. But I remember when I was taking my quick sketch class, and it was like an hour-long class. hour or so long class, we would keep sketching over and over again. And he would have us, people would change positions and stuff like that. And you'd keep sketching and going until there's sometimes you like, you'd hit a roadblock at times, but he'd have us keep going until you like push through that roadblock. And I always thought that was a good point. I don't, you don't give up. So you might have some bad sketches. You might have 10 or 20 bad sketches, but then suddenly you might end up with a pushing through, and suddenly you're able to capture the gestures, the position, the flow of the person who was sitting there. And that always made me feel good. And the fact that my teacher could see us breaking through, that always made me feel good. It was like, awesome, 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 awesome. All right. Oh, let's see. Um, oh yes, thank you. Prasad, I'm so glad you get to watch. And hi, Regina. And hi, Regina. Oh, very cool. Thank you, Regina. All right. I'm now, oh yeah, for those who came a little later, this is on my tablet. This is my nephew, Nikki. We'll almost call him by his brother's name, which would be terrible. But this is my nephew, Nikki. I'm going to try to sketch him. Key point, try. It's different from drawing from a photograph is slightly different than drawing from a cartoon character or something like that. Because a cartoon character, the artist has already captured the main shapes for drawing the figure. And so basically I have to take those ideas that they've already managed to and then put it into, okay, let me see the major shapes that are in the face, in the figure. Though I must admit, I learned some of them as a kid, like when I was in high school doing art, i.e., ovals for the head and stuff like that, a couple different ovals and rectangles. But yeah, so I'm going to try sketching my nephew here. I must admit, Nikki's a little bit easier to draw than Timmy. I know that sounds terrible to say that. Poor Nikki, poor Timmy would be so upset if he knew that I struggled when I tried to draw him, but I have struggled when I've tried to draw him before. It's been a little easier when I've done Nikki. All right, so I'm going to try doing a pen sketch of Nikki first, and then I'm going to try doing key point try, just in case I fail. I'm going to do one of an oil pastel. And oil pastels, I must admit, are a little trickier. I started with a Conte crayon type of thing, and it looks also awful. I'll tell you that, it always starts awful. But then I had to come back to it a day or two later and work on it some more. But anyways, I'm going to start with this sketch here with the pen. And let's see, let me make sure I don't block this camera, but turn this so I can draw it. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, this picture of Nikki I took when I just got back actually Monday from visiting my mom, my dad out in Connecticut. They actually live, oh, I just said that they live in Connecticut. And so I spent the Christmas holiday and the New Year's and many, many weeks later also visiting them. So it was great. I did not actually wear out my welcome. Probably came close, but I did not wear out my welcome. My parents really seemed to enjoy having me around, and I enjoyed having them around. They actually drove me back to Wisconsin, and they actually left on Thursday to beat the storm that was going to hit, the nor'easter that was going to hit this actually yesterday and today. So they left on Thursday, so they'd miss the bad weather. So as far as I think they made it safely. They called a couple nights ago, say that they were about an hour or so away. So yes, sirree. But yeah, so Christmas and through New Year's, I was there with my brother and his two kids and his wife Sarah, and so Nikki is the youngest of their two kids. So yeah. He's fun. His birthday's in December, so he just turned 12. Woohoo! So yes, sirree. He actually, one of the things he asked me to do over the holidays to cartoon him, make him look like an anime character, which I actually managed to do. Too bad I misplaced that notebook. I would show you guys what he looks like as a cartoon. Oh, here he is. I'll show you quickly what it looks like as a cartoon character from a different photo. Yes, sir. It was kind of fun making him a cartoon character. He's not going to be a cartoon character today, y'all. But that was very fun. It didn't work so well when I tried doing his brother. Here, actually, I'll show that to you guys. what I did for his brother. It's also in the same notebook. When I say not all drawings work, can't see, this is the one that didn't work. It wasn't working out so well. So I redid it a couple days later, using the same drawing as a reference. Let's see if I can find it. And this is actually in pencil. I know I always do pen first, but this is in pencil. And it came out a little better. It feels crooked, but I'm going to probably put it in my digital software and then tweak it some more later. But that's his brother, Timmy, who will be 14. I think I got his age right. And, on the 17th of March. Yes, he's born on St. Patrick's Day. And he has an Irish name, but his name, like I said, is Timmy. They're great boys. They're actually very good. I must admit, if you think kids don't like art, that is so wrong. Young people can appreciate art. These two boys are, I feel like they're like some of my biggest fans. My parents are big fans of my work, but these boys are fans of my work. Last year they got gifts. Actually, Nikki actually asked, not this past year, but in 2021? 2022, he actually asked for a painting. All right, very specific painting. But he asked for a painting. He wanted a painting of mine to hang up on his wall. And so I'm like, yay, so cool. And like I said, he wanted me to cartoon him this year. All right, let's see here. I think I need a foot. Now, one of the things oh dear, hands are rough. I mean, I used to be able to do hands very well, but there are times hands can be so hard to draw. And this is still very, I know it's locking down a little bit, very gestural. One of the things I like about drawing in pen is that I have to keep my lines here. I remember back in high school, Mr. Zutz, one of my art teachers from back in the day. I know I can barely remember some of my classmates' names from back then, but I remember my art teacher. Actually, I do remember my art teacher. I don't remember all my teachers' names, but I remember my art teachers. Tim and Mr. Zutz. I remember my art teachers. I guess they made them. I guess those are my important classes, right? My art classes. So I remember those. But I remember this is when I was drawing back in pencil. He was like, "Don't erase." I don't think he meant it literally. I took it very literally though back in the day. He says, "Don't erase because you can use those lines to help find that shape that you're looking for." And so what was great about when I did quick draw and the gestural classes, gestural drawing classes, I have all these sketch lines as I find that shape. And then I reinforce what I like, because some of those lines that you don't like could be those lines that you could use for capturing that shape. And so I must admit I did more of that broad outer shape here. Versus I forgot to start with my circles. That was one of the things when I took an animation class. It talked about finding your circles and your squares, which you can also do here too. I just didn't do that. My bad. All right, eyes. I must admit one of the first things I used to always draw as a kid was eyes. This hat's being a problem here. And what was nice about doing an anime character of Nikki, he was like, I want you to draw me a character with big eyes. Lucky me, Nikki has nice big eyes. I was like, yeah, so his was easy to do. His brother was like, I was like, uh-oh. Timmy doesn't have small eyes, but it was not the same. It was a trick. Oopsie, let's see here. Oh, it is hard. All right, don't worry. It is hard. Let's see. What I do is that's part of this why I like using the gray here, because then later on I'll go over it with well, not today, but I'd go over it with black pen to find those extra lines that I'd like with a black, and then or sometimes when I do markers, like this is nice pen paper that I can draw on top of, I can then just color. Also, yeah, color over what I want and then go back and keep what I like. Yeah, but it is hard because I then have to reinforce what I do like. Oh dear, this is tricky. That expression, him blowing on this New Year's horn. Yeah, that was not a good idea. I guess I need that challenge. But it was such a cute picture, you know? Blowing on the horn. His eye is coming out really funky here. See, that's the thing. If I was doing this in oil pastels, I could smudge out, which I, like I said, I'm using this as a warm-up. But I guess the more I draw, the more I like. And I just have to remember my words. It's my interpretation of what Nikki looks like. But it'd be lovely if at least part of him looked like himself, right? And then I don't show anybody what the original looks like. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, what? In case you guys are wondering, what Nikki is wearing on top of his head, yeah, he is wearing. His mom made him a huge. Nikki has grown a nice tall afro. He and his brothers, thanks to I don't know if anybody ever watches the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, but during COVID, he was growing out his afro. And so my nephews, they're not that they watch it, but similar to Trevor Noah's afro getting really big, my nephews grew out their afros really, really big. Um, Nikki's was wide, but instead he's decided to shave it on the sides and then have it tall on top. His brother has it nice and wide. And so anyways, his mom made my sister-in-law Sarah. She knits really good. I don't knit. I crochet. I love crocheting, but my sister-in-law knits, and so she had knit him the hat he's wearing. That I'm sketching in here a little bit is the hat that she made him of all this leftover yarn. It came out really cool. So it has all these beautiful little designs. And then on top of that, he put on his Happy New Year. Yes, the Happy New Year hat is on top of his knit hat. So funny. So funny. Oh my goodness. So as he blows his horn, beginning of the new year. I love this. I must admit, up until I'm trying to think, last April, when I went to the Poconos and took some family pictures, I had actually never really drawn any family members. I'd drawn myself before. Actually, I drew my brother once, playing the violin off of an old photo I had taken. I had of him from like high school. So I probably drew him once. But otherwise, I had drawn myself off and on, but I really don't do, I'm not big on self-portraits either. I'm really bad at drawing myself. Like, remember how I said interpretations of what people look like? Interpretations. It works better if it's not a real person. But, but, or someone I know. But, I had not really drawn family members, anything like that, up until last year when I did some oil pastels. And I had actually never drawn also my brother. Like I said, I hadn't drawn my mom, my dad, rarely drew myself. But I decided to do a challenge to myself to just, wanting to draw more blacks, people of color. And I was like, I'm going to draw my family. And I had all these beautiful photos, nature photos too, a lot of great nature photos. But I was like, I'm going to draw my family. And so I ended up drawing some ones of my dad with my nephew, Timmy, one of my dad by himself, and I'm trying to think, and I know one or two of Nikki here. And it was just so fun be able to draw them and see what I could do, and see if I could at least capture, if not exactly what they look like, an essence of what an essence of what was captured in the film. And it really just made me feel so good to put, to make them. Oh, hi, Angela. Let's see. Oh, Eric and oh, good. I'm glad you're liking the process. And then hi, Angela. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the Eric and I'm glad you're liking the personable. Awesome. Hopefully, it gives you real like. If we ever meet in person, hopefully this will give you. Hopefully, this will match what I'm really like too in person. I hope so. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad it's personable. I never thought about that. Um, I guess I just assumed that everybody would share. I mean, like I feel like art is personal in a way. Like it's even though you might not realize it, um, you're sharing. Like you're sharing a bit of your who you are. Um, what like in your photography or in your painting, even if it's abstract, you're sharing a little bit of who you are, like what you like or maybe what you don't like, what makes you mad, what makes you happy. Um, and so yeah, I never thought about that. So thank you. I'm glad it's personable and hopefully yeah, real. Oh, look, it's starting to become something. I guess I hit a point where, ooh, it doesn't look ugly. Especially this eye here. I was struggling with this eye, but it might not be perfect, but it's starting to look like something. Yeah, yeah. Woo-hoo. It's starting to have an expression. Um, oh, I took drama, y'all, in case you're wondering about the whoopsie weirdness. but, yeah. I did a little drama back in the day. All right, maybe not back in the day. All right, I was a coward back in high school. I was brave enough to do art classes in high school. I was not brave enough to do drama in high school. But when I went off and got my master's degree, yes, I was brave enough, and I was part of a traveling drama group for how many years? 3 years. I forgot how long. So if you ever hear me being over dramatic, and I guess people won't since I'm well, in case you hear me online today being over dramatic, it's because of that. Because yeah, I like to be dramatic at times. It doesn't always come out. It comes out more like when I'm in a happier mood. My family doesn't always see it because I'm probably more somber. We have all these different things, and I'm probably always into reading and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, my family means so much to me. They I might have to put my white pen to a new version of erasing. Pull out the white pen. um, but yeah, my family means so much to me. They all actually live on the East Coast in the Southeast. New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut. They all live over that way, and we grew up here on the west. Sorry, we grew up here in the Milwaukee area, but yeah, as time has gone by, my family has actually moved east. Um, all right, so it's been over 20 years since they all moved east, but um, yes, okay, I have issues with his nose. I don't know if I'll be able to fix it. I must admit, my weakness, not my eyes. Like I said, I've been drawing eyes since high school. Um, but I think I would skip noses. Noses are rough. So I remember to cheat. Um, yes, white pen. White pens are a nice cheat. So that way I can, yeah. So I'm erasing a little bit, y'all, to get rid of some of those lines I don't want. The pen. Oh, the white pen. This is an 8. Some people, yeah, some can work with fives, but I have issues with fives. They were never working for me. So, and I had to find the right pen that actually would work for me. So, this is a Jelly Roll by Sakura. Anyways, the Jelly Roll, this is an 8. Tens are better for doing a little bit of erasing. It doesn't do a lot of erasing, but just to hide some of those lines that didn't work. And then I can go back and fix those lines a bit. Because, yes, Nikki's nose is looking kind of weird. Probably should have done some placement lines a little bit, y'all. Yes, sirree. But if you ever see people do a drawing and you can see those little lines of like those a plus sign or whatever, it's because they're making sure that everything's lined up. I did a few. I forgot a few. Yes, I did. I totally forgot a few lines there. Let's see. Oh, so this is not the nose nostril. That was the issue. Interesting. This is a trick. Let's see. sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get this. That's the real. It's the all right. So some of it looks like a very old man here. All these grays. Um, like I. So for those of you guys who saw the picture, he is what did I say? 12. It looks like an old man. Sorry, Nikki. Um, it's just trying to get these shadows in, which is can be rough. But like I said, it's my interpretation. And so let's see if I never mention it later on that it's that's a nephew that who's this age when I show the final. So those who weren't here during this process, they won't know it's supposed to be 12. Maybe it's time for me to that's sorry to marker it out. But my markers are on the dry side, so I won't be able to do that. But maybe I have an idea of some of these shapes here. And I want to give up on this nose. This nose is giving me issues. I really don't like noses, y'all. I think that's part of the reason why I like cartoons because they don't, or actually anime because they don't do noses. They do not do noses. That yeah. I like that idea. No noses. Just a little tweak. So, let's see. Oh, let's see. Talk about the white pen. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Jennifer. How are you? It's so good to. I'm so glad you could come. Oh, so the white pen is this. The white pen is to wipe out the lines I don't like. So basically, when I draw, I'm drawing in a gray pen here, and it's to sketch it all out. And if some of the lines are too much, like it's hiding some of that shape that I'm trying to capture, it's just too much of a distortion, I will take a white pen and kind of erase. So it's not actually, most people can also use it for highlights and stuff like that, but I'm technically using it to erase lines. So that's what I'm doing today. Using it as an eraser. Just the opposite. But you can also use it for highlights and stuff like that too. But yeah, I have issues with the nose. Noses are the hardest for me to draw. So yeah. So this is now I don't want to show what my original drawing looks like because his neck is too narrow. I also have an issue with making narrow necks, but that's another story. I don't think I'll ever be able to fix that. I think it's just going to be part of my style. Narrow necks, long, elongated. That's the word I'm looking for. Elongated necks. That's you always know Jolie's drawings because of elongated necks. Just joking. That sounds so weird. But some people do. I think Greco, back from way back, his characters had elongated necks. I mean, his characters, his people. Not all, but some did. Yes, sir. Alrighty. Every time I start working on this hat, I keep thinking of the fact that he's wearing a knit cap, a knit hat, nice huge one, with his New Year's hat on top of it. So funny. Yes, sir. He really, Nikki likes, I'm trying to think, one of Nikki's favorite things. One of Nikki's favorite things is Minecraft. He likes that. And yes, and he plays the piano. He wanted to play piano for such a long time, so now he's taking lessons. So his brother plays the violin. My brother, he was a very talented violinist. He could pick up almost any instrument that he wanted to, but he was definitely a very talented violinist. As a kid, took Suzuki and all that kind of fun stuff. As a kid, I played piano. I do not confess that anymore. I shouldn't confess that. I quit playing piano in 8th grade. Let's see. I played guitar. Woohoo! Still have my guitar. Nice, beautiful acoustic guitar. Played that. Played it in high school, college a bit. Um, very rusty at it now. Don't tell Brian, okay? That. Let's see. As an eraser for or for highlights. Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, Jennifer, you did catch that. That was at you, right? About don't tell your hubby. Yes, I haven't practiced. I haven't played in a long time. Probably almost as long as I went to Eastbrook. So I must admit, I've had time for COVID. You know, instead of just drawing or watching TV or crocheting, I should have, you know, picked up my guitar now and then, but I didn't. Alrighty, so this is my. Let's see, hold this up a little bit. Well, I think I captured what he's doing. Huh, that feels good. I captured what he's doing. It's not perfect, but I know I shouldn't. Artists are like that, y'all. Um, oh, hi, Janice. Hello, hello. um, and here's the original. Let's see, hold this up right. So here's Nikki. That's him blowing his horn. And then here he is as the sketch. Alrighty. I am now, so I feel like I captured the essence of a kid blowing a horn. Woohoo! All right, so, um, oh, thank you, Jen. You know what? That might be a good idea. Maybe I should take up guitar lessons again. I do miss it. I do. It's just been gathering dust. Um, that, thank you. I will probably think about that very seriously. Oh, thank you, Santa. I see. He'd be proud to have that. Oh, thank you. You know, oh, thinking about proud to have. So for I was talking about drawings that I did based off the Poconos, and I took a photograph that I had of Nikki. I know you just see my hands. I for those of you guys know, I have an expressive face too, but since I want you guys to be able to see the process really well and not have to worry if I switch cameras, would I disconnect? I didn't want to do that at all. Um, I just kept it on the one camera. Oops, sorry about that. Just blocked the view. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to try still using the same photo. I'm going to try doing this now with my oil pastels and add some color to it. It may or may not work, y'all. Uh, usually doesn't work so well when I try to redo the exact same picture. But anyway, so Nikki, I had this really great photo of Nikki that I did as a sketch in my sketchbook in ink. And then I went and used my software, my drawing software, to lay the two and color it in. So I have the photo in the background and then my drawing on top of it that I've colorized. And then he also wants some odd stuff. He likes pigs. So I put a pig in the background with wings and then some airplane wings. And then I printed it, sent it to my brother as a PDF so he could print it as a gift for my nephew. I know I started it way back in April and he got us a gift in December. But it was so cool, baby, to combine the two. Um, and yes, he did love it. He actually took a picture of him holding it and he showed it to me at Christmas time. It was so fun. I was like, yay, yay. So yes, Nikki has probably at least 3, maybe 4 pieces hanging on his wall of mine. Oh, what is the software? Oh, that I use for drawing. So I've used a couple different. I mean, the most popular that everybody uses is Illustrator, which is hard. Well, it's not hard. I mean, I don't know. It's okay. I'm cheap though. The one I'm using right now, and please forgive me for I just knocked something, so that's why I knocked my table. Is one called? Let me see. It's called Sketchbook. It is by who's Sketchbook by? I forgot who Sketchbook's by, but it's free. I'm all about. So when I got out of school and money was tight, I went open source. So things I could do that would give me the equivalent of doing something. So like Photoshop, instead of buying Adobe Photoshop, I found a photo editing software called GIMP, open sourced, and which is cool, which means free. And then I'd used a couple others, like I used Inkscape, which was kind of like Illustrator, and kind of does work like Illustrator, and is vector based, which is awesome. But at the time I didn't have a tablet, so I found this one called Sketchbook, which I really like because I really do like Sketchbook. That's probably my favorite one. It's the one I use a lot because I was able to really add my layers and color in it and stuff like that. So I'm going to say sketchbook is the one that I'd recommend. Um, I've used others, but I think that's still my favorite. Yeah. Because that's the one I've been using for the last 2 years off and on. And I have a drawing tablet that I use. I think at some point I'll probably plug in my. I finally learned how to do video captures. And, oh, I'm sorry. I've been talking without, you can't see my animated face. So I've been talking without drawing. Let me draw. That's what you guys are here to see too. I'm trying to think how broad. This is my Conte Crown. I like starting with this first. Well, I just figured out how to do video captures. Since I don't have an Xbox, I've always disconnected the Xbox from my computer until I realized last month. Yeah, that's how sad. I realized if I wanted to do a video capture, that I could use it. I didn't have to buy any special software. I could just use my Xbox software that was already built into my computer. And so I reactivated it. Yes, I did. I reactivated it and figured out how to do screen captures. And so I'm hoping to at some point do a screen capture or video capture, not just a screen capture, because that'd be like a screenshot, but a video one where it has me walking through how creating a picture using my drawing software. It's not as when I do it, it's very simple. It's not as complicated as some people do. Some people do great shading and all that kind of stuff. Mine is just basically adding color with not much shading. I can do shading and stuff like that when I draw with my physical hands. I think it's probably because I was really trained on that, old school, and blending and stuff like that. But it's I don't know, it's different when you do it on the computer. There's always a learning curve when you learn a new system. Like every time you learn a new software, learn how to do something different, there's a learning curve to it. And so drawing with a tablet, drawing on a computer, just is different than drawing by hand. I think they always try to make it better. So that way, like some tablets, make it feel like you are drawing with like your pencil or whatever, or something like that. But I have old one. I bought what I could afford. So, but sometimes I have drawn with it sitting in my lap. So it feels like I'm drawing on my sketchbook. But yeah, I'll do that one day. I think I drew that horn in too quickly. All right, what's nice? All right, so when I erase or smear, when I do Conte Crayon, all of a sudden you can't smear with, but you can do it with chalks. Oopsie, I probably should start with chalk. You can smear it a little bit, which is awesome. I'm playing here, which is great. Now this is totally different tech. Let's see. Yes, I'm going to leave the lines here. I must admit, with some of my oil pastels, when I was doing the oil pastels earlier last year, which was only April, doesn't feel like forever ago, I was trying to do a painterly quality with my oil pastels to give that painterly look. And so that is what I did, which was very fun. Let's see here. Oops, sorry. I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can better get my angle. But still, oops, let me move this out of the way. There we go. Sorry if I was blocking any views. Let me change one more thing here. There we go. Yeah, so my piece of paper is a little smaller, and so I've accidentally cropped off a lot more of his hat than I wanted to, but that's all good. I guess I should have drawn him smaller, but it's all good. Here, actually, I'll give myself a slightly harder surface here. Bam, there we go. Ah, that feels good. And what was nice about getting a painterly quality was I didn't have to be as precise. I could try to mimic a little bit. What are those guys called? The Impressionists. I love the Impressionists. They're probably my favorite style of painters. Let's see. My favorite one, and this is going to sound crazy, even though I've had other favorites come and go over the years, my favorite painter, probably since 7th grade, and probably because of my French class, is Van Gogh. I know he's Dutch, but he spent a lot of time in France. So he's probably like one of my, no, he still is one of my favorite dancers. I mean, sorry, dancers. Yikes. Faux pas. Faux pas. Painters, one of my favorite painters. Has been for decades. Yes, sir, decades. So he's one of my favorite painters. I just love his work. You can the gestures, the fact you can see his paint, the gestures in his painting, the action. I just love that. Oops. But my lines are wrong here. I have to change this a little bit. I might have to pull up that eraser. Yeah, you heard me talk about that eraser, but I'll worry about that in a second. Yes, I'm going darker over lighter here. I'm trying to say I'm being very heavy-handed with my drawing here a bit. But yeah, Van Gogh's one of my favorites. Who else? Mary Cassatt, back in high school, Mary Cassatt. And actually, even in college, Mary Cassatt was one of my favorites. One, because she was an American and she was an impressionist and lived in France, of course. Woohoo. Not that I've been to, I've been to France. I'm about to say I've never been, but no, I have. Just a day or two. But I'd love to, but lived in France. I'd love to live in France. That'd be awesome. But yeah, Mary Cassatt, American impressionist, one of my favorites in high school and college. Degas, yeah, he's awesome. Probably because he drew dancers. One of my favorites. All right, y'all, just give you that heads up. This might get ugly first. This drawing just might get ugly first. It's just the way it goes. My pastels really there's I don't know, it's like a process. It's like it gets it's a process. There's this really ugly stage that I think I have with my oil pastels where it gets really and I just have to work it and work it and work it. But I'm not sure. Let's see. I wonder if I'll be able to break through. I remember one time back, I remember back to a time where, remember how I said the one time I drew my family member was my brother? He had a violin, he was holding a violin. And I think at the time I was trying to do practices. And I remember, I think they were both charcoals. One might have been oil pastel, or maybe it was chalk. I forgot what mediums I did. But I remember they all just came out different. So heads up, y'all, if this doesn't look like the other ones, because yeah. Even if I did them in the same session, it was just like, whoopsie, they didn't come out the same. So, well, give me a moment here, y'all, because this might not come out good. Might have to start this one over. I might need a bigger piece of paper. Sometimes paper can affect. You always have. There's a weird part. It's like you always have to test and practice with different things, and oh, this isn't good. All right, Erica Ann, if you're still here, this might be one of those times about a doodle that's going to come out bad. It might be one of those moments. I don't know if I'll be able to break through to get something good out of this. Might be because there's no nose. Might be because my angles are messed up. Might be because I drew this too fast. I know I'm smearing this to see if I can get it to do something different. Let's see here, y'all. Give me a moment. I'm going to switch. Let's see here. I'm going to switch to some. This is my chalk. Hold on. I have to test something here to see if this is chalk. No. Where's my chalk, y'all? Oh, let's try this. I should have started some Vine. All right, let's see. What's nice? There's so many different chalks. Vine chalk is great for doing initial sketches. Problem is they erase like boom. You just go blow on it and it's gone. But really, maybe I should have started with but right now I'm using to add a little more grays here because I might, then I can erase something. But I shouldn't have done that. I know it's weird, but I feel like I'm messing it up to, well, I'm hoping messing it up will make it better. Yes, sirree. We'll find out. Otherwise, I might just need to loosen up my sketch here, which means I'm a little rusty. I haven't drawn in chalk in a while. Chalk and Conte crayon. Trying to think. When I went on vacation, I took pen with me. I took markers with me. I painted while I was gone. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm rusty with this. It's probably been, trying to think, a few months. All right, more than a few months. So that might explain why I'm having issues. And probably because I probably wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been when I started. Alrighty. So I think I'm just trying to refigure out my drawing process, I guess, in a way. Let's see here. I feel like, yeah, actually it feels better. It feels better like going in here and actually drawing my shadows in first. And then, I know that sounds strange, but there was a time when I would just, I learned this actually when I went back to school and got my art degree. Actually, this is going to sound cool. For those of you guys in the Milwaukee area, I got my art degree at UWM. Milwaukee's University of Wisconsin Milwaukee, and at their Peck School of the Arts, and which was awesome. Yeah, I had a great time. One, because it wasn't my first degree, so I went back and got my second bachelor's, and so basically I went in as a senior. Everybody needs to go to school back as a senior. And then all you got to do is, that means all my general requirements were already done because I'd done them way back in Madison, way back in the day, back in the early 90s, or actually late 80s, early 90s. So that meant that all to do was take art classes, woohoo, which was awesome, just taking art classes. But, oh yes, anyways, so when I went back to school, one of the, let's see, that horn was wrong. Okay. When I went back to school, I remember learning how to just grade up a background for doing a drawing, just grade it all up, and then pulling out, darken up what you need for your darker shadows, and then using an eraser and stuff like that to pull out your highlights. You know, kind of like what I was doing with the, all right, I was erasing with the pen, but kind of like that. And so, yeah. So I think that's what I'm realizing. I think that's what I'm doing. Even though I already had my sketch here, as you saw, I'm darkening things up, which is okay. Oh, I just realized he has a thumb, he has no fingers. Whoopsie. I'm just allowing it to be a mess. Let's see here. That's a little better. Let's see, what is wrong with this cap here? This cap was great. So I'm trying to get, oh yeah, I forgot, because I didn't make this a nice fine point. That's the other thing that's an issue, is that like, my pens have nice fine points. Woohoo! But I forgot, my little Conte crayon does not. So that's why a bigger piece of paper would have been great. So every line, all the lines are much fatter. Yes, obviously, right? But did I remember that when I started? No. Then I'm like going, why is it not working? Because your medium's fatter, Jolie. Alrighty. Let's see, he's got and eye in a lot of shadow. No highlights here. I need to pull out that eraser to pull out the highlights. That's one of the things that you can do with charcoal. Um, you can use that eraser, which I didn't pull out any erasers yet. Whoopsie. You can use an eraser to pull out your highlights, which is awesome. Um, which is why I can get away with doing all these grays. Let's see. I need to give him at least one finger because just floating here. Now I must admit, my oil pastels, I don't think I've ever managed to get them done in an hour. um, yeah, sometimes they take work. Like, so I was going through this time of like making my paintings in just one sitting, but then I was only doing them in like, I don't want to tell you how long I take to do a painting. It might seem too fast for some of you, if I say so. Not always, though. But, okay, ooh, that feels a little better. I like my one eye, even though it's barely seeable. But sometimes sometimes it's like you have to walk away. It's like you're working on it and you're working on it and you're like, I'm frustrated. So you have to walk away. So there are times I actually have to walk away and come back the next day. But I am going to, maybe I'll shake up my shoulders here. Maybe that will do it. Even though I know I shouldn't because I want to start adding color to this, but I guess there is no wrong. There's no wrong. Even if I haven't finished my blacks. But I kind of want his look, what are they called? Lays? Yeah, his lay, that he has around his neck. I want to color that in a little bit just so I can mark the spot. It's going to be dark. That's one of the things when I was drawing this past, I'll also start for this notebook. This past fall, no, not fall, this past, what month that was? April. This past April and May, yeah, I really messed up with my seasons. I allowed my darks to just blend in and let the colors be distorted. One of the nicest things about being in a postmodern era for painting and drawing is that it's okay if your colors aren't always realistic. All right, so that's me. I'm okay with my colors not being realistic, but thanks to previous people, sometimes, especially the modern era, which was Picasso. So that gives you how long ago the modern era was for painting. The colors can be slightly distorted and not realistic. Contemporary, I think that was also too, right? But so I'm going to put some blue for his lay, but I don't like my blues. And the funny thing is, I hate blending. I'd rather buy tons of colors. Technically, all artists should know how to blend. Yeah, they should. But, and how to mix their own colors. I say blend, but mix your own colors. However, oops, I got stuff sticking to my fingers. Here we go. However, people make tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. All right, I'm exaggerating. But they do. Like, they make tons and tons and tons of colors. So I might not be able to perfectly match my colors to reality, but I'm making my own version of something. So I can, make the colors, I can use the colors that I want, or as close as I want. And I know it feels like, oh, that's very bad art practice. But you know what? Like I said, it's my work. And this is post-school. You learn the rules so you can break the rules. So, yes, sirree. I learned the rules so I could break the rules. That's right. Let's see. Some of my favorite tools for when I do oil pastel. This is still a chalk Conte Crayon. Oh, the blue's oil pastel. Some of my favorite tools for oil pastels, especially if I'm doing it on. All right, if I'm doing it on canvas. It's gonna sound strange. Yes, I did block the camera. Odorless mineral spirits or turpentine. So OMS ones, odorless mineral spirits. And a paintbrush, it will break it down. But otherwise, if I'm doing it on paper, yeah, don't use it on paper. Blending stumps. I think they have a name, but I've always called them blending stumps. So it says I have the package here. It says blending stumps. Oh, I guess they don't have a name. That's what they're called. And I use those for blending. Your fingers are great blending tools. Um, Paper towel is a great blending tool. I learned just last year. This can be a good blender too, to do a soft blending. If it actually this works with chalk, so if you're doing chalk, it's great for that. And then for removing stuff, um, which I need an eraser. Oh, here it is, gray eraser. I know mine looks a little black here, but yeah, it's great for that too. For removing things and bringing out those highlights. And then, of course, white chalk's great for highlights too. So, alrighty, let's see here. Let me. Ooh, I got some brown chalk, brown Conti crayon. Let's see here. How is Nikki coming out here? Rough, 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 rough. Um, what's nice though about oil pastels is that I can create layers. I'm trying to think here. Do I want to? I need to change my lines here a little bit because I did mess this up a smidge. I'm changing this up. I know, like I said, Miles sometimes can be nice and elaborate, but too much, you got big fat lips. Trying to think. Start at the corner and then go in, but his dark lines are there. But yeah, Miles hard. All right, I'll come back to that. Probably shouldn't, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should at least pencil something in. Let me pencil in something, right? So I know it where it's supposed to be. Oh, this nose. Like I said earlier, noses are not my faves. Um, I don't know why. Just have issues with them. Still do. And I don't have my nice little white pen to be able to knock it all out. And if pen would actually work well with Content Crayon, I probably would totally use it, that white pen, to erase it. But it won't work well with it. But it's so, but I would. There's white chalk. White chalk can work. But white chalk really works great for highlights. Let's see here. Oh, this is better. All right, let's erase a little bit here. Oh dear. Oh, well, like I said, white chalk will help. All right, let's see here. Oh, let's have white Content Crayon. That will work great, even better. Oh, so I shouldn't focus too much because I must admit I forgot. I will have to go back over this with the Content with the what's not the Content Crayon, with the chalk. Or sorry, what I'm not using chalk today. What I'm saying, oil pastel. Oil pastels make a great base also for oil paintings as an underdrawing. I was after after I graduated from school, I had issues with. I was no, I must admit, I was not painting and drawing like I should right after school. I was more worried about trying to pay bills, and so it wasn't until like a couple of years, or maybe about 4 years after I graduated from school, I was like, I need to get back into drawing and stuff like that, like I want to. And let's see, and I was trying to draw like they taught me in school, but I was struggling, and so I started looking up to how you know, others drew, looking at other painting techniques. I remember checking out a book at the library and they talked about underdrawings. I was like, oh, underdrawings, yay. And as I kept looking about versus doing underpainting. Underpaintings are not my thing, y'all. Painting straight on with painting on a canvas straight on without having a drawing on there first, like pencil drawing or something on there first is not my thing. I can't do it. I mean, unless it's abstract, which means I don't have to, but if I'm trying to do a painting of a person, I can't do that without a drawing first. I need, I know it sounds weird, but I need a drawing first. And so as I was doing my research, I realized, oh, I don't have to just start with a drawing, excuse me, with a painting. I can start with a drawing. And I don't know why I'd forgotten that because when I was in school doing my classes, I always did drawings first, but never thought anything about it. But here I was graduating thinking I need to start with the under drawing first, or under painting first, which is crazy because that was so not how I was practicing. So anyways, I got back into doing under drawings, and as I was doing my research of doing under drawings, I came across oil pastels as under drawing, and I was like, what? I can blend two mediums together, and I can bring out my favorite medium, which is oil pastel. I was like, awesome. And the reason why I like oil pastels is because they blend and they're colorful, similar to chalks, but not as messy. And I know that sounds crazy. So yeah, that's what that was all about. And so, and I could add color real quickly. I think forever when I started painting. That's why it was so fun when I went on my adventures in abstract journey because instead of just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, I mean thinking on and on and on about what colors I was going to start. I still sometimes do that. I started trying to um, think and think and not do that all the time, but start thinking more about just add color right away. So yeah, that was good. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to decide what colors. This may or may not come out well. It's probably won't come out too dark, but I'm going to start here anyways. Just start with something. That's basically, it's like I just need to start with something. It's hard sometimes for me to just go at it. So just pick a color that I liked, and I'm going for it. And this may not work, but it's all good. I just got to remember sometimes it's all about the play. I think I forget it's a play. See what I can come up with. And will it look like something at the end that I like? So then, where is, let's see. I got all my stuff sorted. I have so many oil pastels, y'all. I bought cheap ones, I bought expensive ones, and then I mixed them all together. I have them sorted by color. Yes, that's how much I really love my oil pastels. Even though I don't always use them. I went through all this trouble to buy a nice container specifically for my oil pastels, and then I proceeded to not use them. And it was really weird. But I do like oil pastels. Oops. There's a roughness to the laying out here. I trying to figure out some of these colors. Some of my highlights are not right here, I know. I know I should have put some white on there too earlier. Like here's where I should have put some white. But I'm hoping to blend just a little bit here. And then later, sometimes when it sets, it makes good for I know it sounds weird to say set, but sometimes like when I come back to a drawing later, like the next day, it makes it easier to suddenly, oh, add more layers. I know it sounds crazy, strange like that, but sometimes it does. Now, some of my oil pastels, because of the brand, they are easier to blend with than my cheaper ones. Woohoo! I love my cheaper ones, but the expensive ones they're creamier, which makes it easier to blend. So that makes them a nice thing. It feels better. Might have been a little too much yellow, but this was nice. This was a nice color choice, though. Oops, can I get this to stick? Excuse me. Oops, excuse the lean. I gotta find. I need to pull up my. Actually, I pull up my case. So this very expensive case. Case was cheap. The markers, the colors within it aren't all cheap. I think I bought this at Joann Fabrics years ago. Yes, because Joann Fabrics was selling art supplies. Woohoo! Maybe it will have to be the dark brown. I don't have a. I was looking for a softer reddish brown, but it seems that's not in my arsenal. I know all these colors and I don't have what I'm looking for. Isn't that crazy? Maybe this will work. No, that won't work. It's too. This will work though. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. Here's something a little bit warmer. Found it. Let's see here. I know it's coming on big, broad colors here a bit. But that's all good. I can fine tune it a bit. With the blending. There's something I think very relaxing about blending. If it blends smoothly. Sometimes. And also, I forgot. There's a point where you make a painting, you make a work, and you're trying to get it as much as possible, like your reference. But there's a point where I've noticed it with myself. There's a point where you stop. It's usually when you're near the end, and you stop and you look at your piece and you look to make sure that, oh, is it lined up right? Are the shapes right? Does it look like how you want to look? And you just like working it, to make it your own. It doesn't come right away. It comes near the end. And suddenly you realize, oh, I'm just looking at my work here. I always like that point. It's like, because I'm really just working on that piece and making it, I'm in the zone, whoops, that's not where I want that to look. I'm just kind of in this zone spot of like making this piece something that I dig, And that always makes me feel good. It's like, I'm kind of like, I guess, a sculptor, shaping my shapes and molding it and softening it and rounding it for it to be what it needs to be. Yeah, that I always like that spot. When I'm making those corrections. Let's see here. Coming to pattern eyes, no longer shadows, nowhere hate it. Let's see here. Let me add a little more of that yellow to this eye here. All right, it's not yellow, it's ochre. I remember learning that word from a commercial. Poor girl. what color are my teeth? One woman would say, ask her, that's her commercial. A girl's like say, asking her student, what color are my teeth? Yellow, olive, eclair, or not olive. I think they said things like off-white, eggshell, ochre, and I'm like, wait, what? Yes, never, never, never ask. I mean, it was for a dental. Obviously, it was for a toothpaste commercial and whitening. But does that make sense? Would anybody ask their class what color are my teeth? Crazy, man, crazy. Anyways, yellow curve. That's where that color is. All right. Um, I must admit, like I was telling Saint earlier, I really love working in gray pen and stuff like that. But I love color. I love color. Color is like, well, I guess life is full of color. I just love color. Um, I really do. There we go. There we go. I just love color. And that's why I bought my markers so that I could add color to my pen drawings and stuff like that. Oh dear. Having a few issues here. Everything's so broad. There we go. Mm. If I do this wrong, he's going to end up having my brother's jawline. Which makes sense, right? What did he inherit from what genes did he inherit from my brother? Jawline. Doesn't look like Gilbert did, but inherited his jawline. I always thought his son Timmy had inherited his jawline, but maybe they both inherited a little bit. Never thought about that. The boys actually look so much more like each other than they do like their parents. I mean, like, yeah, they don't look exactly alike, but for some reason, the boys favor each other. I know that sounds weird, but they kind of do. They favor each other. At least they did as a little, except for their eyes. Like I said, Nikki has nice big eyes, and his brother, well, his brother's nice eyes too, but just different. Um, Oopsie, put some chalk in there. I should have done some oil myself. There we go. There, that feels good. I think I just need to be messy here a bit. You just got to be messy with what you're doing and then just see what happens with that mess. Oopsie! That is not the color I meant to use. That is very purple. Dang it. Seems I was very, either they mixed up or I should have, did not put my colors back together like I was supposed to. Whoopsie. All right, let's see here now. I wonder if I can find that dark brown that I wanted to put here instead. Yikes. Oh, well, he's going to have a little more warmth to his neck, which is okay. Some of our colors aren't as cold as we think they are. Blend this in a little bit. Oops, not this one. Oh yes, use this. So you can get that. know it sounds, I'm not doing really good here at finding my shapes, but even if they're not the normal shapes, more organic shapes, those are shapes too that can be found, like looking for the little negative space areas. Which I think I cheated on a little bit, but it's light enough. Let me switch here. I think I'm going to use this one. I need the shapes in my color patterns. This may or may not work well. Where's that brown? Here it is. This brown still. It's really weird. For some reason, I feel like this brown is just not dark enough. I know that sounds weird. I just have to push it a little black after all. All pastels really, it does take time for me to get it to be what I want it to be. It's like I see parts of what I want it to look like, and then I see parts of like, oh, this is not what I want it to look like. Just weird. What is this here? I can't, this jaw here is just driving me nuts. Sometimes it takes the willingness to destroy it a little. I don't know. But right now, I'm struggling to get it to be what I want it to be. So I'm just going to just go all on out a little bit here. I know it sounds weird, but it's just not pulling together. It's not looking like how I want it to be. And I pulled all my colors out, and now I just got them laying around like a big old mess. That's not, oh, let's use this. All right, I am struggling with this piece. First, I feel like, oh, my background here is looking messy. First, it's coming together and it's falling apart. Maybe I should take a break from the, oopsie, dropping stuff. Take a break from the face for a second and work around it because I'm not liking what I see. All right, so I know I said I had issues with noses. It seems I have issues with other parts too, not just noses. Noses, yes, jaws. Jaws are a problem also. I think it's a little bit more of this. Aha, there you go. Some of those shadows back there. Break that yellow again. Sorry, y'all. There's a point where it turns out I guess when I struggle, I have to talk less. There's a point where it's like, oops, I need to focus on what I'm doing here. Sorry, no, I just flipped it upside down. Just was trying to get it. I took out my color there. Let's see. No, we should add some pink, but I'll add that in a second. This is the right one. So there we go. Rolling crayons do get in the way of there we go. Turns out I was just making my shapes. Well, that's part of the issue. Making my shapes wrong. I should change this here. Where's that yellowish yellow there? Let's just add a little more of that. That looks good. Oh, thank you, thank you. Um, it's getting there. I think it's this. I know I have to work it a little bit more. By adding the mouth or the upper lip. I hope that's getting. I have to work. I think that's what's helping it. But I'll keep working on it though. But thank you, thank you. I'm glad. Because I was saying earlier, there's points where where I hit a point where I'm like, I want to quit. It's not coming together. Um, and then I didn't quit, of course, but it's drawings. Yeah, oil pastels take a while because it's like I have to come. It's like you find it and then you lose it, and you find what I find it and then I lose it and then I find it. And then it's like, so when you find it, you want to just keep going, and then it's like, oh, this is working. Um, Part of it wasn't. But thank you, Jen. I appreciate that, saying it was coming together. Yeah, still need to tweak it some more subtly. Like, whoopsie, my photo reference started disappearing. But as I draw this picture, I realize, like I said, he is 12, just turned 12 in December, and I'm going, oh, my brother always says that. Always says, well, he's got subtly, maybe it's just the shadows, but you know what? He could be growing a mustache probably in the next few years if he wanted. So I'm going, oh, he does have shadows there for a mustache on his nose. I mean, under his nose, not on his nose. Whoopsie. I like it. Gilbert is right. I guess I won't say my brother's always right. But let's see here. Stupid chin. Alrighty, let's see here. I'm going to add it. I'm going to take a break from that face. The face is driving me nuts. Off and on, I like it. Alright. So, as I'm looking at my photo reference, it really does look like emergency green. In reality, it looks more yellowish, his shirt, but it really is emergency green. I can see it in this photo reference. Going, oh. Anyways, his favorite color is yellow. And so I'm adding a little yellow for that t-shirt that's just barely peeking out. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said, I'm stepping away from that face. It's driving me nuts. I'll tweak that somewhere later. Let's see. So I got a little yellow on his shirt here. I already got the blue of the lei colored in. Actually, I had a little highlight here on the lei here. Let's see where I want that blue to come out. I think that works better. Boom. I should have taped it down, i.e. my piece of paper, so it wouldn't move so much. Let's see here now. Let's draw a little bit of that horn. I don't like that color of that horn. I got too much brown on my picture anyways. Let's see. I'm going to draw color in a little more shadows here. There's actually stuff in the background in reality, but I'm just going to pretend it was all gray. I mean, the background is kind of dark, but I know there's a photo behind him. I can see it. And I did use a flash, so that actually is making it's something slightly more shadowy. So, hi, this is me. I like to be able to show you guys the process, so please forgive me, y'all. When I blend these together. So please forgive me. My camera only could allow me to do, what was it? I guess an hour and 37 minutes, hour 40. So, but yeah, so please forgive me, y'all, if you are missing this live stream. But yeah, there's the camera I was using earlier today. Here is, for those of you guys, here's the pen drawing. that I did, or let's see, angle it. It's a little blue. Boom. There we go. So yeah, so that's the first pin drawing I did earlier. And then here is the drawing I was working on. It's not done yet, still in the process when it died out. So it's coming together. I like the yellow and blue at the bottom. It looks better in reverse in small versus doesn't close. But there you go. You guys can see a little bit. Highlights are really too bright here. Doesn't quite look. Maybe I need to make that draw longer. I know I'm having issues. The draw line's what's giving me issues. But yeah, I apologize, y'all, for it cutting out when it did. And hopefully you enjoyed watching the drawing process of me doing both a pen drawing in my pen sketchbook, doing a pen sketch here. Yeah, I forgot my doodle that I started off with, and then doing a pen sketch of my nephew Nikki, and then following it up with the start, but not the finish, of an oil pastel drawing, Conte crayon and chalk as the underdrawing, and then started doing the oil pastel on top. So I apologize that it cut off earlier, and oh, I guess I can say hi. Hi, everybody. Oh, my dirty fingers. Yes, I like blending. So yeah, I apologize that it cut off earlier, but I do hope that you guys enjoy what you got to see when I was drawing earlier. Always feel free to ask questions about what I was doing or anything, or even my artwork that I have been posting through the virtual market. My website is dancework. Oh, whoopsie. Seems I never give my my art website out. I almost said where I work at. Yikes, my day job. But my art website is happyheartarts1513.com. That's happyheartarts1513.com. The S is on the arts, not the heart. So happyheartarts1513.com. And so yeah, that's my website. And if you've seen some of my posts, I do charcoal drawings and all those other kind of, yeah, I do drawings. Let's see, I do drawings, digital drawings that I sell on my website. I have my paintings, my abstract paintings on there. I think I'll add some oil pastels. I used to have oil pastels, but I took them down. So I think I'll add those at some point, and mixed media. And I have charcoal drawings too. I did last year some big charcoal drawings that are 18 by 24. You'll see a post about that at 1 o'clock about those. But yeah, everything, you go to my website to buy. Range of prices, starting as low, like the digital drawings start as low as $10. So you can easily print those at home. PDF files you can print at home. And then my paintings start, they're small ones, start around $20. For the smaller ones, and then my bigger pieces, you know, around 100 or so, 100, 200, no, between 100 and 200. You're right, depending, and they're like 20, you know, like 18 by 24, so they're much bigger. But my smaller pieces are definitely all under $100. So, yeah, range of sizes, but it makes it so that you can have, you know, your own piece of art hanging up in your home. I do have a Facebook page, Happy Heart Arts. And I do have Instagram. My Instagram is actually my name, sort of. It's at Jolly Jolie 2001. That's JOLLYJOLIE 2001. So that's my Instagram, and I post my artwork there. And there's links to my website, both my Facebook page and my Instagram. You can find links there. But yeah. So anyway, so those of you guys were able to see my work earlier. Oh, while I finish this up. So here's one of my pieces on board. It's a painting that I did, used a roller for, and then a spatula, and then a fluid to create this landscape. But it's on board. I repurposed the board there for this one. And here's another one of my paintings I did earlier this year. Last year already. Excuse me, last year. I used a spatula to paint the background and to do different pieces on here. So that's that. So yeah. So anyways, that's it for me today. Um, yes, like I said, I apologize for those who are watching the live stream that it cut off early, but hopefully you enjoyed what you were seeing and learning about my drawing process. So all right, have a great rest of the day. Happy Saturday, everyone. Bye.